Hey students, today we're going to talk about solving system of equations by elimination. So, how do I solve system of equations by elimination? Well, in order to use elimination, we use it when both equations are in standard form. So, remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c. So both of our equations have to be in standard form, and the coefficients of the same variable are the same number with opposite signs. Okay, so we use elimination when both equations are in standard form. Remember, that's ax plus by equals c. And the coefficients of the same variable are the same number with opposite signs. Remember, coefficient means the number in front of the variable. Okay, so coefficient is the number in front of variable. Okay, that's what your coefficient is. So that number in front of the variable must be the same with opposite signs to use elimination. So let's look at problem number 1. If we look at problem number 1, zoom in a little bit. Okay, if you look here, you'll see that, remember, if there's not a number, we put an imaginary 1 there. So if you look at the x's have the same number, they're both 1, and one is a positive and one is a negative. Since they are the same number and they're opposite signs, we are able to eliminate them. That means we cancel them out. Okay? And then we just add the two equations together. So 2y plus negative 1y gives me 1y equals 8 plus a negative 4, which gives me 4. And remember, you got to get y by itself. Remember, 1y is the same as just saying y, or you can divide both sides by 1 and get y equals 4. But remember, for a solution, you have to have x, comma, y. Well, we have the y value, which is 4, but now we need to find the x value. So you can pick either one of the equations. It does not matter what equation you pick, and solve for x. So I'm going to just pick the first one, which says x plus 2y equals 8. So we know that y is 4, so I'm going to take what y is, and I'm going to substitute it into y. So we're kind of using the substitution method from yesterday. So we have x plus 2. Now we're going to substitute 4 in for y equals 8. And now we just solve. So we multiply first. 2 times 4 gives me 8 equals 8. And now I want to get x by itself. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And so x equals 0. So my solution is 0, 4. That is my solution. So remember, for elimination, star note, you are canceling out a variable. Okay? You're canceling out a variable. You want to get rid of one of the variables, at least one of the variables. Okay? So now let's look at example number 2. If we look at example number 2, and remember, if there's not a number there, we put an imaginary 1. We have negative 2x plus, because you're always adding the equations together, plus 2x. Well, that cancels out. So we can cancel that out, because that's going to equal 0. And then we have 1y plus a negative 1y. Well, that cancels out as well. So what are we left with over here? We're left with 0, because both of the variables canceled out. Equals, and then we just add the numbers together. 1 plus 6 gives me 7. Now, does 0 equal 7? No, not at all. So since they do not equal, okay, these do not equal, my answer is going to be no solution, because they do not equal. So this is my answer, no solution, because both of my variables canceled out and they did not equal, so my answer is no solution. Now, let's go ahead and look at example number 3. For example number 3, again, we're going to add both of our equations together. Okay? Everything has a number in front of it, so we don't need to put an imaginary 1. And then let's look at solving. So we have negative 2x plus 2x. Well, that gives me 0, so it cancels out. And then we have 10y plus negative 10y. Well, that gives me 0 as well, so it cancels out. So we have 0 left over here, equals negative 12 plus 12. Well, that cancels out as well. So I'm left with 0 equals 0. Well, does 0 equal 0? Yes, it does. So these do equal. And since they do equal, your answer is going to be, you are correct, infinitely many solutions. Okay, so notice when my variable canceled out, if they equal, it's infinitely many solutions. If they do not equal, then it's no solution. If your variable does not cancel out and you still have a variable, then you are solving for both x and y. Okay? Okay, so now on the side, I need you to write 3 questions that I could ask on a test. So let's just say write 3 test questions, sorry. Okay, so you're going to write 3 test questions. Again, make sure you understand how to do elimination so you can teach your partner, so you and your partner can go over it. And do your summary. Now, you can use whatever sentence sim you like. You can say, I learned. Now I understand. Or I have discovered. Use one of those sentence stems. Okay, it doesn't matter what sentence stem you use. Make sure it's 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, you need 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, and have a wonderful weekend. See you on Monday.